Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Xenon ZT back at it again with part 3 of What If Deku Was Abandoned. So, welcome back. And if you see the thumbnail, if you're an old school gamer, you would have recognized this character from way back in the day. The game is still fresh, but it's in back in the day, the Neo Geo days. If you know, you know, the arcades and stuff. That's how I got introduced into this character, and this is how I fell in love with this character and how he plays, and how I used him to kick the butts of everyone in the arcade. Without further ado, in the last episode, Deku, dreams shattered by All Might, bullied by Bakugo, but at the end, he got the number of one of the pro heroes known as Fat Gum, who showed and even lifted the spirits of Deku after the hard blow he got from hearing All Might's words. So, play my shit. After Deku fell asleep while holding the phone number in his hand, he woke up the day after, thinking more and more about the offer he got handed by Fatgum to come train under him. But his strength is not matching to anyone, so his training should be different from what a normal hero can offer for the time being, because he needs to learn about the experiences of heroes in fighting villains, in how to deal with rescuing civilians, and in how to harness his ki and his powers, which Deku will learn in due time. So after that, the day after, Deku called on Fatgum, which replied with a great amount of happiness. Hey kid, what's up? Did you come to a conclusion? Deku said, yes. I'm sorry to inform you, sir, but I can't train under you. Fatgum said, why is that? This is a one lifetime chance. What are you doing, kid? Deku said, thinking about it, training under you and training my power under you wouldn't do me any favor. It seems like my power is some kind of energy-based power. And Fatgum said, energy-based, you say? Kid, I never asked you this, but tell me, what does it feel to use your power? Deku said, it's like an energy inside my body goes through it all and gives me more power. And you know the fact that I'm quirkless, right? Fatgum said, yes, but what you said now sounds pretty familiar. Deku said, how is that? I don't know, kid, but meet me at the mall in 2 hours. Which Deku said, 2 hours? Okay. Is there something wrong, or do you want to ask for something? No, said Fatgum. He said, I think I got a solution for that bit. So after Deku preparing his meal, because he woke up pretty early this day and called on to Fatgum pretty early too, he went to take a shower and stuff. Then he grabbed his gear and went to the mall. Not to the mall, to the place where they should meet. I would say mall. Yeah, pretty public. So upon meeting Fatgum answered, called on to Deku with a huge grin in his face. Hey kid, come here. Which Deku face palmed himself and said, what a goofball. Yeah, why am I involved with this guy? And Deku went to him, and Fatgum jumped and started talking super fast to Deku. Hey kid, I think I got a solution to your problem here. Deku said, huh? When did I have a problem? From what we talked in the phone, well, only what I can hear is I can't control my power. So I found someone who can. and he's actually a former champion of some kind of tournament. And I want to introduce you. Yo, Rio, come here. Rio came from behind the wall and introduced himself. Hey kid, my name is Ryo Sakazaki, and I'm a karate master. My friend here, Fat Gum, told me about a particular kind of strength you have, and I think I will be a great help for you. So, what do you say, kid? Deku hesitantly answered. You sure about that? Ryo said, my dojo have been dying for new students, especially with one with your abilities. So Deku said, interesting. So Fedgum said, so that's a deal? Ryo looked at Fedgum and said, thank you for introducing the kid, but now we gotta go. Deku said, now? What do you mean now? Ryo said, training starts now. Ryo grabbed his motorcycle and looked at Deku. Hop in, kid. Deku hopped into the motorcycle and they went for a ride. What Fat Gum said to me, said Ryo. What Fat Gum told me about your power is some kind of energy-based something. Like you're gathering energy inside your body, am I right? Deku said, yes, that is it. Ryo said, pretty interesting. We'll figure it out, kid, don't worry about it. Now, let's go to my dojo. Deku said, you're a karate master, huh? Yeah, Ryo said. And you're a former champion of some sort? Kid, you're taking me way too early in my life. I've been 21 and I've been invited by this crime lord to have a tournament, and I defeated him, da-da-da. It's a long story. If you want to hear it, I will tell you about it later. Deku said, okay. And they reached into the dojo. Deku, upon entering the dojo, looked around for it. It seems kind of nice, but aren't you a martial arts master? Why is the dojo empty? And Ryo answered, people don't believe nowadays in the power of the Kikogunryo karate. Only me, my father, my sister, and my friend Robert, and my disciple Kushnud, who holds the other two dojos and US, particularly in Southtown. So, any more question, kids? You live in the US? Yes, I'm Japanese, but I lived in the US and I came back here to harness more of my strength. As you can see, I'm 32 years old. I'm getting old, so I gotta do some trips to fight and to learn more and more about this world and harness my power more and more. Kid, I won't train you your whole life. I will be your sensei for 1 year. So 1 year is all you're gonna get. Are you willing to go through a hellish training to learn how to harness your power? And you can choose if you want to adopt the Kikogunryo fighting style or find your own fighting style. Deku said, okay, I understand. Now let's focus on, for the time being, let's focus on me harnessing my power, learning how to harness it. By the way, Sensei, I never asked you what your quirk is. Quirk, you say, kid, huh? Ryo answered. Deku said, yeah, quirk. Ryo said, the power we use isn't quirk. We don't have quirks. We are, if you would say, quirkless. Deku looked at him. You're quirkless too? Ryo said, yes, I am. But the power we use is from Mother Gaia, the power of the earth. It's called Ki. Yet with you, I've been feeling it, and it's pretty rare to feel it from somebody who's never trained it or tried to use it on purpose or use it more on purpose. So kid, have you been training? Deku said yes, and Rio felt something weird about Deku, and he looked at him. Your powers are kinda weird. It's not like you gather energy from the nature. It's more like you're using your life force energy. Deku looked at him. Life force? Yes, life force can be used for many, many things. We are not practitioners of that kind of power, but I would give you pointers to teach you how to harness energy. So the training, and then Rio asked Deku, "What's your name, kid?" Deku said, "Izuku. No last name." Rio said, "Rio Sakazaki. Nice to meet you." So they shook hands and the hellish training started. For 2 months, Deku's first training was on how to learn to harness the ki in his body and manifest it into a ball of energy in his hand. That was the task given to him by his master Ryo, not Rio. And Deku tried to do it daily and more and more and more and more and more, and getting frustrated by the day because he cannot use it. And Rio started noticing that his energy spike up every time he rages on and he pissed off or he's in a bad mood. So he said, "Kid, I told you to focus and meditate. The power of your fist will only grow when your mind is clear. You got that?" Deku looked at him. "Yes, sir." So Deku meditated for more. And in the evenings, he tried to manifest the ball of energy. 2 more months pass, and Deku has a glimmer of hope as he feels the energy almost about to burst out of his body, and Rio feeling it growing stronger and stronger. Deku won't be overpowered in this what if, and he won't do crazy stuff, but he will be powerful. And according to his universe, he will be really powerful. So after another 15 days, it was 4 months, 15 days, Deku was able to learn how to manifest his inner ki into a ball. And Rio was standing there and he told him, "You see, kid, told you you can do it." And Deku said, "Yeah, finally." And Rio looked at him. "You want to see a real kicker in the nuts?" Deku said, "What?" Rio pulled his hands back and he said, "Houshokoken," shooting a huge, massive energy ball from his hands. "It will take you a long time to master your power, kid, but never forget, always strive for strength. Be hardworking, be clear of mind, and work." After that, the relationship between Deku and Rio grown more and more, to even Deku seeing him as a brotherly figure. So in the evenings when the dojo is empty, Deku goes to morning school and he comes back, then goes to do his work. In the evenings he has training with Rio and he sleeps the night. So most of the time when he's training with Rio and he's exhausted to the bone because Rio started implementing physical training and fighting training, he tried to give him the basis of learning karate. So Deku pretty much showed Rio that he can fight because his punches are heavy when infused with his own ki. Even Rio noticed that. Damn kid. But he never told Deku because he don't want him to get cocky or stray from the way of the warrior. So most of the time after the training ends, Deku sits down with Ryo and he talks to him, and Ryo tells him about his sister, his father, his goofy father Takuma, and his best friend Robert Garcia, and he teaches him about the Kikugen Ryo fighting style karate, but he told him that nobody has a certain style in that karate department. You can use kicks as much as you want. You can use fists. You can use even your butt. My sister does that, by the way. It's pretty embarrassing, but gotta deal with her. And my father, known as Mr. Karate 1, is the best practitioner I ever faced, even though I defeated him once. But it was due to old age, and I would pretty much love to make a meeting between you two. He would love to train you, but believe me, he's 100 times harsher than me, and he makes our dojo pretty empty all the time. And he tells him about the days he participated, and when the day his sister got kidnapped in Art of Fighting 1, and he tells him about that time when he was crowned as the first king of the king of fighters, and he tells him about each and individual he knows, his best friend, his rivals, his this, his that. And Deku was he was listening as a little child to this man who showed him kindness by taking him under his wing and training him. But Deku never opened up to Ryo about his family, and the reason he never has a family name. And Ryo understood that there was a good reason to it, especially that Ryo, lost his mother around the age of 10 and tried to avoid the topic of parents because he thought maybe they are dead, maybe something happened or something like that. So one day, after 6 months has passed, Ryo walked up to Deku. Yo kid, what do you say you come with me to US? Deku, upon hearing that, he was pretty flattered, but he outright denied. Ryo said, maybe one day, sensei, but not now. I have a goal and I want to achieve it and prove everybody wrong about me. Ryo said, that's a great reason. Nothing better than that to prove yourself and prove your worth. So prove to them that you are the invincible dragon. Show them that you will be that. And Deku said, yes, sensei. And the training continued. Day after day, Deku learned how to harness his ki more and more and more and more. And each time he went home after the training with Ryo, he would go with only by himself, and he would go to the mountains and try to come up with tricks and abilities so he can control his quirk better, and he used it in an unorthodox way. And Ryo, each and every time, he would stalk Deku and he would stay behind the tree smiling. You impress me, kid. You truly do. And he goes his way. At the 9 months mark, Deku, grown powerful, learned how to harness his ki. And he engaged Ryo in a fight, but the outcome, as always, in favor of Ryo. Ryo said, if you want to defeat me, kid, it'll take you 30 years of training, more than this. Deku said, your punches are too heavy, sensei. I hid the fact from you, kid, but you're a pretty good fighter in nature, even though you don't use karate or any kind of martial arts. But you have finesse. You took some of my abilities away. I noticed it, especially when your energy balls, it looks like houshokoken. Interesting, kid. So you're an all-round fighter, I would say. Don't stick to one thing, stick to multiple. Learn from everyone including every person you meet. Because if you train under one person, and learn only one thing, you will never grow. Deku said and bowed to Ryo and said, I'll never forget you, Sensei. The first one to ever extend a helping hand. And then tears started flowing from Deku's face, and he started touching his face. Ryo said, are you okay, kid? Is everything alright? Deku answered and he said, don't worry about it, Sensei. It's nothing. It's just, I thought that there won't be any good people left in this world. But you proved me wrong, huh? Ryo looked at Deku and said, kid, come on. I want to give you something. As they went to the home next to the dojo, Ryo grabbed his old gi and he said, to the new invincible dragon, you make me proud, kid. Here, as he gave it to Deku as a congratulation for the ending of training and stuff. And he looked at him. Now, spread your wing and fly if you want to continue these couple of months with me before I leave. That would be pretty nice. And Deku said, yes, Sensei, of course. And we jump another 3 months into the future. Deku, grown more and more powerful, and came up with his own attacks based as infusing his fist with the energy, the ki he has in his body, and creating an image of a dragon as he punches through stuff. And he has an attack where he puts both his hand in an X-shaped mark as he throws a huge energy sphere. Not sphere, a beam. And one is called the Dragon Fist and one is called the Tiger's Roar. They both deal massive damage. As Ryo, he was on the receiving end of one of them, the Dragon Fist, and it almost penetrated through his skin. But being the veteran fighter he is, he survived. And the other one, the Tiger's Roar, it matches the houshokoken in the same strength. That means, but if Deku pours in more and more of his life force into it, it will cancel the houshokoken, because houshokoken is a projectile, as the Tiger's Roar is a beam. So Deku after that looked at Ryo. So tomorrow you would be leaving, huh, Sensei? Ryo answered, yes, kid, I would be leaving tomorrow. I guess I missed some people. You see, I went out of my home searching for power, and I guess I'm pretty powerful as I am now. Life still has much to offer, and I crave a drink from a certain bar. They looked at him. Do you mean? He said, there is a person I want to meet. Deku said, who? That will be a story for another day, kid. Deku looked at him with a puzzled look. You mean a woman? Ryu, blushing, said, no. Shut up, kid. I'm out. As he stormed out of the dojo, and Deku said, I knew it. Let's be honest, Deku, he's being nice with Ryo because Ryo extended his hand and he is his personal training. He sees him as an older brotherly figure. But to other people, they are nothing. He still treats everybody at school coldly. He answers the question and nothing more. He doesn't try to create conversation. He's a loner. He is a cold-ass person. But with Ryo, he formed a bond. So after that, Ryo left the country, saying his goodbyes to his student, which made him proud because Deku not only did learn how to harness his ki properly, but he also gave Ryo a reason to go back home. because as Deku sees Ryo as a brother figure, on the other hand, Ryo sees Deku as a son figure. So the relationship between them is different. One sees him as a father, as a son, and the other sees him as a big brother. So that's what made Ryo go back to America. So after that, Deku continued training by himself for the rest of the duration of the year, which made him get into his old hobby, which is collecting data on heroes. And after collecting enough data, he came across one particular hero named Captain Celebrity. Captain Celebrity has an ability which allows him to fly, which Deku wanted to learn. So he tried to mimic him because Captain Celebrity has been honest about his strength and how about his power. His power is creating barriers and stuff which allows him to float. And Deku started gathering ki all through his body and using it as force to propel himself forward. First off, he started training and jumping, which increased his jump. But the downfall was him crashing on his face. So he continued training on that ability for a while until one day he looked from a mountain peak and said, "Today or never," as he came running and jumped as far as he can from the ledge. And he jumped as he's falling down. He focused all his energy on his body, trying to make it as how do we call it? As a feather. Until he closed his eye in inches before hitting his face on the ground. He looked and opened his eyes as he saw himself floating around in a huge scream in his victory and the ending of his first training. Even though Deku won't stop training, but this was a stone to show how much of a powerhouse he will become. So this has been it, folks. It's been your boy ZT. I got some words before I go. This may sound random, but I wanted to include this character because it represents my childhood in the arcades and he is one of my favorites. And as I told you at first, it's been a nostalgia trip this past day playing King of Fighter and the art of fighting and that stuff. I might not be that old, but I used to have shit hardware. It can only run Neo Geo games like Metal Slug and other titles. So yeah, deal with it. I love Ryo Sakazaki's character, the blockhead, yet strong blockhead. And I hope he scores a date with King. So, without further ado, don't forget to drop a like, comment down below, and smash the like button. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so all notifications reach you because YouTube is fucking with my channel. My channel is already super fucking dead, so yeah. It's been your boy ZT. And I'll see y'all in the 4th part of What If Deku Was Abandoned. Peace. And I just remembered, I forget to tell you, next What If will be What If Deku turned evil redo. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.